So, Dr. Milind Antani, I would like to welcome you on behalf of the Healthcare, Lifestyle and Luxury Department of Business France India. All the members of the team are present here today and we're all looking forward to listening to you. So on behalf of the entire team, I would like to welcome you as our healthcare expert for today's conversation. Today's discussion would focus on a very critical sector, which is the medical device sector, which is essential for providing care at hospitals. We encourage, at Business France India, we encourage and support French companies to develop in India. And the objective of this conversation is to throw light on this sector from the perspective of French companies that wish to develop in the medical device sector in India. Dr. Antani, you are a surgeon turned lawyer and you lead the pharma, healthcare, medical device and digital healthcare practice at research-based international law firm Nishit Desai Associates. You are acknowledged as both a pioneer and authority in your domain. You have helped frame national policies in key impact areas of the healthcare sector, including digital health and medtech space. Your industry expertise has lent well to your representation of an array of prestigious clients in matters like joint venture, mergers and acquisitions, venture capital, and private equity investments. This apart, you also lead the firm's social sector practice and represent various global and national foundations in India. You also feature regularly in various forums and prestigious publications. So we're really glad to have you with us today. Dr. Antani, could you please explain briefly your firm's activity and how you help medical device companies? Also, we would like to know, have you helped French companies in India?
Thank you very much. And thanks for reminding that what you said about me that, oh, I need to do a lot now. I think you have very rightly said that medical device sector in India is really growing very fast with new regulations coming. And we at our firm, that is Nishit Desai Associate, you just mentioned that we have a strong industry focus on pharma, healthcare, medical device, medtech, and digital health space, which grew over a period of time. We started with just pharma, and then a lot of industry started going in. So I primarily lead my practice overall entire sectors which I just mentioned, and we have industry and practice area focused approach. That pharma healthcare practice is one of the practice which really we focus. And along with that, we have various practice areas like corporate practice, intellectual property practice, international law, dispute, and international tax practice. So depending upon the transactions we do, I being a leader of the entire practice, develop the team. We have been advising a lot of companies in medical device space, right from even before product launch, let me put it that way, the pre-launching strategy, because India is a very interesting country, and I'm sure you all know, being a fulcrum of India and France. A lot of regulations keep changing, and especially medical device sector has evolved from unregulated to semi-regulated to badly regulated to properly regulated. That is what I think the sequence of regulations in medical device in India. And that posed a lot of concerns for especially foreign players and primarily our practice, that is our industry practice in pharma as well as medical device, have been assisting mainly the multinational companies looking at India work, whether it is a launch or a distribution or various models or some kind of concerns they face with their presence in India. So we ended up helping a lot of medical device companies looking at India, product launch or distribution arrangement with Indian partners. Some companies also had some form of subsidiary presence in India, and we helped them right from regulatory issues on helping them getting permissions, registrations. Some models where there was no presence, they wanted their product to be sold in India. And that is where the typical distribution arrangement or a collaboration arrangement comes into picture. That is where the Indian partner requires to obtain import license from the authorities. And that sounds very easy, but it's not that easy, because at the end of the day, you are working with Indian partner, comes with a lot of ifs and buts. So we help developing entire documentation as well as negotiation with the collaborator in India. And apart from that, a lot of product liability issues have been happening. So broadly, this is on the regulatory side. But again, medical device sector was exempted from various services earlier, like labeling, packaging, and other things, which from 1st January 2018, medical devices included into a law called Legal Metrology Act, which has norms for labeling and packaging. So that brought out some additional regulatory work because a lot of concerns were faced by the industry players on labeling non-compliance.
Okay.
Then came the bigger challenge that medical device got regulated by excellent medical device rules, which became effective January 2018, and that posed a lot of concerns on whether I am regulated or not. So broadly speaking, I think we have been helping medical device clients on the regulatory side, and and especially on diagnostic component of medical device has got amazing flavor from investment point of view. So we also represent various investors into investing into medical device companies. Like for example, it is public knowledge. We advise Straumann, which is a Basel-based dental implant company, on very big transactions with an Indian partner. So we also do a lot of corporate work and also ended up representing. Though India is not a litigious country, but we have seen a few cases of product liability issues, post-operative morbidity to the patient because of
Right.
faulty implant or faulty technique,
Right.
but we are representing companies in how to circumvent that. So broadly speaking, I think this is what we have been helping them right from regulatory to dispute, covering all collaborations and IP, of course, IP-driven
Right.
transactions also are there. And you also asked about representing French companies. I have not seen many French medical device companies being present in a very strong form, to my knowledge. And then that is why I think we do not have a strong representation on medical device side when it comes to French companies. But if you ask us, Sanofi is one of the most important client on pharma side, and we have been helping them across everything, right from regulatory work to joint ventures to documentation. Another important point I think we also help is on advertisements and product promotion, which is very differently regulated sector for medical device and pharma. We also helped L'Oreal in their certain regulatory concerns. We had recently helped Lycidia. But apart from that, I think we are a lot of queries come from French law firms. Though our law firm does not have any good friends relationship or married to any other French law firm, but we keep on getting references or referrals from various law firms through which we advised many medical device companies. Possibly we are not aware of the name, possibly because of the confidentiality issue. But we ended up helping law firms like Hogan Lovells and others. And I think one, if I pronounce it right, but there was something called Lazarfir, was another company which we helped through law firm. So these are broadly how exactly our practice spans across all the practice areas.
Okay, that's very interesting to note. So now if we look at French companies that are looking to expand internationally, they face regulatory hurdles not only in India but also many other countries in terms of in terms of cost, in terms of time. So can you give us your perspective into the Indian regulatory structure, its advantages, its challenges for a French company that is looking to develop?
Yeah, I think very interesting point and very pertinent questions, especially from medical device side. So as I mentioned earlier, that medical device regulations have evolved, and what really happened. I will give you timeline as well as how exactly the fees work. But before that, it is very important to understand that medical devices per se, as I mentioned, no regulation to some regulation to heavy regulation to decent regulations. So till 2018, which I mentioned, new medical device rules came under Drugs and Cosmetic Act. That is where actually the regulations happen. Certain devices categories up to, it started with 10 and reached up to 23. Those product categories were regulated as a drug because they were notified as a drug. India does not have a specific medical device act like other countries. Medical devices are regulated under Drugs and Cosmetic Acts and rules the way pharmaceutical products are regulated. Now, because there was a challenge to regulate purely from quality point of view, regulators started bringing in products under category of drugs so that they can be regulated under drugs and cosmetic. Of course, there were some pluses and minuses, but were there, but that caused a lot of ambiguity, including lawyers like us. Like I am a surgeon and a lawyer, I know the sector well. I also used to get confused what exactly law wants to say. And because of that, I think there was a proposal to come out with some specific regulation. And I'm very happy to say that effective 1st January 2018, we have specific medical device rules, which comes under CDSCO, which is a Central Drug Authority where Drug Control General of India sits, and it is no longer a state subject. Medical device is no longer a state subject, which is good and bad both ways, because considering purely from the timeline as well as accessibility to the regulators. So the challenge, I would say, it is not a great challenge. And that is where the compliance point comes in. Of course, earlier the issues were huge when it comes to taking permissions from regulators, whether it is a manufacturing or sale and marketing or import for that matter, if you just have a collaborator partner or a distributor partner in India. But after these new rules, they have come out with a specific guidelines. A lot of things have gone online, a lot of paperwork has reduced, and the most important part that has happened is accessibility to regulators. I think you might be knowing better than me that you might be approaching and talking to regulators a lot, because
Yes.
under regulations now, lawyers alone are not allowed to communicate with them for any client work unless you are with client. But overall, I have been involved in a lot of policy making on certain like data privacy law. I was involved. I'm a part of NABH task force to develop digital reforms. I know regulators quite not closely, but I know them, how exactly they work. So I see significant positive change in their behavior, and they are accessible. So as long as you comply with the regulations in a proper way, I don't see a many challenge in entering India. Let me say in a very simple language, whether it is whatever form you enter, which we may discuss later on. Another challenge that has come recently. So to sum up, there are specific forms, there are specific timelines. You need proper documentation with your partner to just purely from the liability point of view, because you are dealing with human beings. So some kind of errors are likely to happen. I was a surgeon for 14 years, and something would have happened with my hand. Fortunately, only once or twice. That was not associated with purely the act which I did. But so contracts and compliance are very important point. But one, I won't call it a challenge, but very important compliance that has happened recently. I'm sorry, I'm going a bit long, but in the month of February, two back-to-back notifications came pertaining to medical devices. And what it said, first notification amended the definition of medical device. And I don't want to go because of the paucity of time, but it is a catch-all provision. Anything and everything, any product which diagnoses, mitigates, or cures any ailment in human. So practically anything, like for that matter, PPE which patient doctors are wearing could be a medical device, honestly speaking, because it prevents the doctor from suffering from COVID-19. So it falls into that definition. So that definition came, that is number one. And along with that, another notification came simultaneously on the same date, that they asked all the manufacturers to register their products which fall into that definition on a portal, clarifying in which class you belong. There are class A, class B, class C, and class D,
Yes.
considering the risk involved and their intended use. So companies were asked to register the online portal, and from 1st April, all those devices which are registered would be considered drug. So that 23 became huge number. 23 became huge number, but the purpose only to get registered. And though functioning at regulator is doing well, it possibly is going to be impossible for the same task, same skill force to manage so many companies and so many products. So they came out with provisions of exemptions that class A, B would be exempted for a specific period of time, about 30 months, and class and C would be exempted from the regulations for 42 months. Broadly, these two exemptions came, but for those who could be registered. Unfortunately, because of this COVID crisis, which started in February, mid-February, and we are now thick into it. And Mumbai is not thick; Mumbai is into thick actually. So that possibly portal is not there. So they allowed physical submission. But the challenge, why I'm spent some time here, the challenge would be the companies, the French companies who do not have products are looking at launching product in India, would be possibly regulated under drugs and cosmetic rule, because that exemption would not be available. Personally speaking, I'm expecting some kind of circular and notification from government in view of the COVID crisis that so far that extension of 1st April has not happened. But if that particular product is related to COVID crisis, some companies coming out with rapid test kit for COVID could be expedited and would give a case-to-case basis exemption. So broadly, this is how things really happen. And I would say that entering India in medical device is not that cumbersome. It is not that difficult. Only thing is that you need a proper partner and proper guiding force, and you are there to help French companies with your guidance and help identifying the right partner. I don't see any major concerns purely from timeline, because timelines are specified by and large, and fee is also notified. So I don't want to go into the specific numbers, but there are fees for registration of a device as well as registration of a facility. And they vary from class A, B, C, and quickly it ranges from US dollar 1,050 to 4,500 US dollars for C and D, and 1,050 is for registration and for A and B, where for a facility charges are $1,000 and $3,000 respectively, A, B, and C, D, whereas for class C and D, the fees are $1,500 per device, whereas class A and B, it is $50 per device. There are also provision for fees for inspection of foreign sites. You know, whenever an import license needs to be given, from which facility is going to come, whether it is complying, there is a concept of inspection of foreign manufacturing site, where the fees are 6,000 US dollars, which the companies have to charge. And I think that this is, you can't avoid this, because unless they are inspected, of course, there are various modalities and parameters on inspection depending upon the type of the product. And import license per se, if you are not there, if your French company is not there in India and your Indian partner is going to import, or Indian company has a subsidiary in India, and if they have to import, there is a fee of $1,000 for obtaining import license.
Right.
Now,
so I think the subsidiary, if I could just
sorry.
come in, Dr. Antani, if I could just come in, sorry to cut you, is that
Sure.
I think now we are coming to the next part of the discussion, which is, how to work with partners in India, because many companies, they don't like to probably come on their own, and they would like to work with an Indian partner. So what we understand from the regulatory viewpoint is that, it was unregulated, then it was, semi-regulated, and now there is much more regulatory clarity. And so from a comparative perspective, India is a very approachable market now.
Yes.
And there's clarity on the regulations. However, the entry strategy, I think, is a very interesting point. So some companies, they prefer enter through a distributor. Others prefer to enter through an acquisition route. Some others also set up their own subsidiary. So like you were saying that, it's very important to have the right partner. So can you, just take us through quickly, what are the entry strategies possible,
Sure.
which are the modes which are possible, and what are the advantages?
Yeah, I think, very rightly put by you that it could be either distribution or your own subsidiary. What we have seen, let me see what we have seen commonly and what could be the ideal scenario. And that would change case to case basis purely from the strategy the company has for India. It is said that whether you love India or hate India, you just can't ignore India. a huge market. Everybody has to accept it. And post-COVID, I think India is going to be on a different zone if properly taken care of. I always say that we are sitting at the edge. Either we fall or we fly. We don't know, and that is where I think a lot of factors are going to play. I don't want to touch upon that, but to answer your question on how to enter India, the most important point I think the companies need to understand first is what they want to do in India. That is number one. After they decide what they want to do in India, how much they want to grow in India. And third most important point, if they believe in India, do they want to make India as their one of the important country in their entire business to meet the global needs? So these are the three factors which are very important. I'll touch upon last point in detail later on because of some changes happened just 2 days ago, where government has come out in a very big way. But if you are just looking, let me answer you that if companies totally new, they have no idea about India. What they know is just Business France. Let me put it that way. And amazing faith in you all. But they don't know about country. You will fill them with what exactly the culture, what exactly the system. Because what you see in India, you don't see in France, and what you see in France, you don't see in India. So if you are new to India, but you have a good product which you think India is a market, I personally suggest initially understanding the market with the help of people like you at Business France. They should just look at launching their product in India. Now, while launching that product in India, if you do not have presence, because having subsidiary comes with a baggage, right? From compliance, from Companies Act compliances and whatnot, plus having a task, having employees and so many things, plus a lot of things. But to just taste the waters in India, let me put it that way, you need to choose or cherry pick the products which you think are best for India. That is where you people can play major role to guide them because they would have a huge portfolio. No question about it. And once they figure, they should find out a partner in India who can distribute their products. So it just becomes the typical distribution agreement that French company would enter into a distribution agreement, but matter does not end there. That is where important role comes, that who is the right distributor. That is where the concept of doing due diligence comes, that right from regulatory compliance, type of litigations, etc. But the most important point is that the distributor in India would be seeking all the approvals from government, that is import license. An import license would have French company's name, but would be in the possession of the Indian distributor, which can become a huge challenge. So my word of caution on distribution, we can discuss separately the entire model, is you need to give a power of attorney to your Indian distributor. And when you do that, the mistakes which we see happening is that Indian distributor would insist for exclusivity. Never do that. Never have exclusivity of license. The reason, if your product flies in India and you feel that the distributor with whom I have partnered cannot cope up, that is number one. Number two, somehow you are not comfortable the way distributor behaves. And number three, you are fine, distributor is doing great, you are very comfortable, but out of blue, some litigation happens on distributor for some other company or some other product. Because distributor is not going to be married to only your French company. He is going to be distributing products of various companies. So these three factors may lead to choosing another distributor. And if you have that exclusivity clause in that power of attorney and agreement, it will be a huge concern and a burden and efforts to bring another distributor on board. So just one thing, proper due diligence and non-exclusive arrangement with them, commercials can be taken care of, is one distributor model. If you have more, or it could be continuation of what I just mentioned, that your product is going on well, or you already have products which are already, see, you may not have identical product, but you may have similar products in India. And if you think the market is huge and you want to go in a big way, you may consider creating entity in India. Now, in India, you can have two types of company. One is limited liability partnership, which is a company limited by partnership, limited to the share of the partner, or there is something called private limited company, which is company limited by shares. You need two shareholders or two partners and two directors. One director has to be a resident Indian. That is where a Business France can definitely help them. It is more organized, more easy. However, there could be some kind of a tax issues. Tax element needs always to be taken care of, whether it is LLP or private limited company or distributor model. Always consult your local laws from tax point of view, because monies are going to go to French companies' account in Paris or France. How exactly they will be treated and how India is going to treat you. There is concept of permanent establishment in India. If becomes if you establish a subsidiary in India and you do business with them, they become a related party. There is a concept of transfer pricing study, because you can't go beyond cost plus arrangement, which is the norm of the industry. So these are the few points you need to do. So summing up, initially I would suggest to go for distribution arrangement, finding a right distributor partner, entering into proper agreement, taste the water, and go for presence in India, either LLP or private limited, depending upon the company strategy. However, if you already have a presence in India, let me give you an example of a company which is already there in India, doing some other factor, wants to enter into medical device sector, or there is an established company who has a tie-up with similar company which is a subsidiary in India, you can create some kind of a joint venture with Indian company. That is one. Another thing that can happen is established French company or a startup French company may find out a manufacturer and distributor in India and develop a joint venture to develop product which is there. They might be having technology to develop that product, or they might already have own product which is going to come to India. So they can develop a joint venture which could be 50-50, 60-40, 40-60. Again, it is a company strategy. But joint venture, I am expecting post-COVID, whenever we become normal, we are never going to become normal for next 3-4 years. But whenever things come online, I am expecting, with my experience in healthcare and pharma, I am expecting a lot of joint ventures where companies, foreign companies having technology is going to tie up with established companies in India. Because Indian companies need some technology and they need some partners. And as I said, India is India. You can't ignore India. So these are broadly few models can be considered.
That's very interesting. I think we really liked what you said about that whether you love India or hate India, we cannot ignore India. And I think the foreign technologies, especially France, has a lot of
Yes.
technology for the medical device sector. And some of the technologies are for directly for the hospitals, but there are a lot of French technologies that are also for the local manufacturers to improve their quality and to improve their functionality. So can you briefly tell us about how the local production in India is developing and what kind of opportunities or how it's going to develop in the near future?
Yeah, so if you ask me, generally in pharma, yes, they are developing very fast. But when it comes to medical device sector, uh, today I think the medical device sector in India is quite import driven. Almost 85% of the products, when I say products, I'm right from syringes to coronary stents, let me put it that way. And a lot of technology equipment which have become drug now, post 1st April. A significantly import-driven market, except syringes and URI bags. All those have become unfortunately drugs now from 1st April. But if you take, as you mentioned, technology-driven products or high-end products, is significantly import-driven market. So India does not have good number of manufacturers in medical device sector. But whoever they are there, India has a significant robust regime, and especially new medical device rules that I mentioned have strong, good manufacturing practices, guidelines which companies must comply periodically. That is number one. Uh, Second thing is, a lot of entities in India who are into medical device manufacturing are looking at tie-ups and have beefed up their operations, and that is where the standards like ISO standards and BSI standards have played major role, and they become slightly stringent from quality point of view. They are applicable to products which are not being manufactured in India. But what interesting thing that has happened from medical device point of view, that few years ago, medical device was one of the sectors as a part of Make in India initiative by the central government, which is primarily a Prime Minister Mr. Modi's initiative. And because medical device India was part of it, they came out with some kind of changes. So they removed FDI regulations that there is no cap. There can be 100% automatic thing, and they came out with certain exemptions on manufacturing. So, and 3 years ago, I'm sorry, 3 days ago, I think Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman came out with a lot of new exemptions where healthcare was one of the sectors, and they've emphasized a lot on manufacturing sector, and that is where I personally feel medical device sector is going to play a huge role. I do not have any doubts the way pharma and IT have grown on quality matching global standards. Medical device sector, which is a primarily a technology driven sector, I'm talking about high-end technology like robotics to AI to all top-notch equipments. India is going to fly out from quality point of view. I don't see personally a major concern. Government is going to play huge role in providing exemptions, and that is where I think what they want, that they want global players in medical device to come to India to manufacture products not only for India needs but for global needs. And that is where I think I personally feel post COVID we realize the need for ventilators, we realize the need for PPEs, we realize the need for pumps. There are no pumps in the hospitals, which is such a small thing. And that is where I think and people have now realized that such type of pandemics are going to keep coming, and you may not quote me, but second wave of COVID-19 is expected in 6 months' time. The doctor in me tells me that October, November, or maybe early August, you may see another wave, but cases would be there, but intensity would be low. That is how I think it's a very nasty virus. It's a very, very nasty virus. Fortunately, it is not lethal, but very naughty. And let me put it that way. So I think to answer the question, India, yes, is growing very fast in medical device sector, has grown excellent in pharma. To tell you, because US is biggest market, so India has the highest number of US FDA plants outside US, which is a huge statement. And same thing is going to go for medical device sector.
Right. So, although exports to India are still very affected, through this conversation, it's our attempt to understand better the Indian market and what the future is going to look like, and so that's why we had this discussion, and I think we're really happy that we had this conversation with you because you're a doctor as well as a lawyer, so it's very difficult to get someone who has both the backgrounds, and I think. So as we understand that pharma sector is very developed in India and medical device is going to follow the pharma story. And we are going to see a lot of French companies also that are going to come to India because they have the technology, they have the know-how, and France is a very well-recognized healthcare country that provides very good quality healthcare to their citizens. So I'm sure that the French companies that will be listening to us, they'll have a lot of questions also. So I'm sure that they will write to us. And so, the entire, on behalf of the entire team, I think I really would like to thank you for this discussion and would ask you to conclude this discussion by, give us a few recommendations for the French companies. And particularly if you could sum them up maybe in 3 words, that would be even better.
Okay. It is said that when you want to speak for 5 hours, prepare for 5 minutes. Yes. And you want to speak for 5 minutes, prepare for 5 hours. But I think, I will, 3 words and 3 different words.
Yes.
I will have 3 different words, one for product they have and maybe 3 words for services they are going to do. For products, I think I have very simple words. It should be first in India. So first, based or different. The product needs to be either first in India. If it is not first in India, it needs to be different from others. I said I said similar but not identical. And if nothing, see that you are different from others. That is where I think doctors are going to love, hospitals are going to love. From services point of view, I think I would say comply, collaborate, and catch up. Catch up is so important. They need to catch up with people like you regularly. They need to catch up regularly with Indian partners because things are on a dynamic speed in India. Things are changing very fast. The mindset of Indian partner is very interesting. It also changes very fast. So keep catching up with your partner so that you are on top of everything. And if you ask me to end with 3 words, welcome to India.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Anthony. It was a real pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Thank you.